When you're at home, cuddled up on the couch watching your favorite TV show, you're probably not worried about your safety. That's because you know your military is there to protect you.
Our government asks these soldiers to place themselves in harm's way.
Every day they go out and fight for us, but what do we give them in return? During the 9 to 12 months soldiers are gone, the world doesn't stop, so they miss everything, including birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, other celebrations, or even the birth or first steps of their child. While in these treacherous environments, the soldiers sacrifice their physical and mental health. Physical injuries could be minor, like broken limbs. Many, though, are extremely severe, including amputated legs and arms, permanent loss of sight or hearing, or even death.
So a couple people I've deployed with, not necessarily while I was there. I've had some friends get killed, but I've also had people who would get blown up by an IED, and there's actually I want to say it was in GQ article about a major who had facial reconstructive surgery because of his convoy getting hit with an IED, one of the roadside bombs, and it really kind of messed him up a little bit.
A common mental health condition is PTSD. PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. It can be caused by directly or indirectly experiencing a traumatic event, such as war, natural disasters, terrorist attacks, car or plane crashes, or assault.
From like depression and anxiety, so they can't go out and interact with public, especially large crowds, because of the threat that was in the country when we were there. We'd be around a lot of people, you never knew who was the enemy, and somebody could have been wearing a suicide vest and would come up and blow themselves up.
Common symptoms of PTSD include depression, hypervigilance, irritability, extremely lifelike nightmares, and memory loss or lapse.
So the first thing in the morning, it's a fight to put your feet on the floor. You just don't want to crawl out of bed. You want to stay there all day and do absolutely nothing.
Before soldiers are deployed, most likely they don't finish their college education and have never had a job that pays over minimum wage. According to the United States Census Bureau of 2012, there were 21.8 million total veterans, and only 28% of them received a bachelor's degree or higher. Consequently, they aren't financially stable when they get home, so many end up homeless. Soldiers could also become homeless because of difficulty finding jobs after severe injuries. The homeless veteran population ranges between people from all different wars. In 2009, the Obama administration said they wanted to end veteran homelessness by 2015. One night in January 2014, there were about 49,933 homeless veterans in the United States. From 2013 to 2014, in most states, the percentage of homeless veterans decreased. In some states, though, the amount of homeless veterans increased. The Veterans Cost of Living Adjustment Act of 2011 helped to decrease veteran homelessness, as well as the Vow to Hire Heroes Act, which also helped to decrease veteran unemployment, and the Veterans Retraining and Assistance Program, which also helped to decrease veteran unemployment by retraining veterans ages 35 to 60 to adjust them to today's job market. There are many other things the government provides for veterans. The VA provides them with health care benefits, including home loans guaranteed by the government, educational assistance, disability compensation, and more, and memorials and burials. On August 7, 2014, President Obama signed the Veterans Access, Choice, and Accountability Act. This gave the Department of Veterans Affairs more money and resources.
There needs to be funding for veterans. And in our current economic state, where there's a government shutdown or government showdown over budget every year, there needs to be a mandate or something that says, hey, look, we won't suspend funding for the Department of Veteran Affairs, especially for those people who rely on the income every month because maybe they're completely disabled and they can't leave their house, and that's what they use to live by.
Despite the amount of efforts done to support veterans, many still say it isn't enough.
I've spoken with veterans throughout my district, and a common theme that emerges is that they have lost faith in the VA.
At Phoenix Hospital, many veterans feel like they're being forgotten because of long wait times. There are also many issues with scheduling.
The hard part was scheduling and being able to take the time off of work in order to go to the medical facility.
They do get adequate health care so long as they're within a reasonable distance to the VA facility.
Another issue that veterans face is getting proper help with mental conditions. Justin Grimes, Army and Marines veteran, says that he had nightmares for years, but doesn't have trust in the VA and doesn't have time to see a psychologist. He said, "I'm sure if I was bleeding out, the ER would see me right away. It's hard to get care for mental health." So, what are they supposed to do now?
Doctors in place, so there's a constant revolving door of medical providers. So one, their rate of pay probably needs to go up. Two, there's authorization to hire more mental health providers at every VA medical center.
Overall, I think there's enough support. I just don't think the education and the ability to get it or how people go about getting it is there. We like to be tough, and we don't want to necessarily seek out the compensation or the help that we need because we can just get through it. And I think that's the problem. The problem is getting the veterans into, or even service members into these programs and the organizations to apply for compensation, to apply for disability, to apply for other means that the VA and government provides for them.
If when a veteran returns home, they are struggling to cope, we as a nation must come together to ensure a strong support system is in place. This means we must remove the stigma associated with seeking help. This means we must hire more mental health professionals and more who have served in combat zones themselves. This means the VA must provide after-hours services. The VA must review its group therapy model. There must be a review of discharges that results from mental health conditions, and the Department of Defense and VA must better coordinate the transition from DoD care to VA care.
I'm coming home, I'm coming home.